We're going to talk today about the coordinate plane. From this one book I have, it's called Mathematicians Are People Too, and it talks about mathematicians and what they've invented and stories about their lives. Now, the man who invented this coordinate system, his name was Rene Descartes. That's how you pronounce that, Descartes, a French guy. And this was around like the early 1600s is when he was living. Let's see, he died, he was born in 1596, he died in 1650, so how old was he when he died? 54. Here's just a sketch of him, and he was kind of a sickly person, always cold, and kind of lazy in a sense that he would always be lounging around, but he'd always be thinking. He was really a thinker. And he was also a philosopher, one who always thought about, different theories on life and whatnot. And one of his famous sayings was, "I think, therefore I am." I think, therefore I am. In other words, if you're thinking, you must be existing. So how did that guy come up with this coordinate system? By the way, notice the title of this book for this person. They said, The Stay-in-Bed Scholar, because he was always in bed reading and whatnot. I'll read to you what the book says, how he discovered the coordinate system. One day while Descartes was resting, a pesky fly landed on the ceiling above him. The buzzing of the fly distracted him. He couldn't concentrate on the passage of poetry he was trying to memorize. The fly was lazily crawling back and forth on the ceiling near one corner of the room. Descartes began to wonder how the position of the fly could be described. He reasoned that if one knew the distance of the fly from the two walls, its position on the ceiling could be precisely expressed. By identifying the point of the fly's position as coordinates, one could describe its path mathematically or algebraically. A tiny insect had prompted a giant discovery. So before that time, before 1600, no one ever came up with a coordinate system like this. And he got the idea by just watching a fly up on the wall, on the ceiling. Now, I've seen in some textbooks that they would actually call this the Cartesian coordinate system. Remember, his name is Descartes. Cartesian coordinate system. And it's named after Rene Descartes. And it basically goes something like this. We have two number lines, one going, positive and negative, and the other one going positive and negative. And they're intersecting each other. It breaks up into four areas. It breaks up this plane into four areas. Now, each one of these number lines is represented by a letter. This one going up and down, you can see the letter up there, Y. So they call this the Y axis. Call it an axis, this number line. On the other one, going horizontal, that would be the X axis. Now, this center right here, this point has a certain name. The name is, can you guess it? It's origin. Origin. And that origin is right here in the center, and that coordinate, or that location, is 0, 0, double O. Now this point right down here has a location, has an address. To find that address is two numbers. The first one is the X, and the second one is the Y position, coordinate. So first I got to count on the X-axis. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have to go -5 to get X ways. That's -5. Then I go down. I'm going down 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. -4. I'm going down. That's -4. So the location for this is -5. Whoops, why did I write a 5 in there? -5, -4. That's the address. That's the coordinate. Okay, over to the side, I'd like you to write something down. That's the word ordered pair. Ordered pair. The same thing as that is a word called coordinates. Coordinates. Double O, RDINATES. Coordinates. Now, when you're given a location, a point, this first one here is the X. Coordinate. 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 I can't say that. And then over here, here's the Y. So we have an X and we have a Y. Together, these coordinates make up an ordered pair. The X, remember, goes sideways. And the Y goes up and down. You always start going sideways at the origin and then go up or down after that. Okay, our first ordered pair is 3, 2. 3, 2. So to find that location, we start at 0, start at the origin, we go sideways first, 3 spaces, positive. 1, 2, 3. And then we go up 2, positive 2. That means up 2. So 1, 2, 3, up 2. 1, 2. Now I am counting the spaces. I'm not, see, 1, 2. I'm counting the spaces. 1 space, 2 space. Right there is point A. Over 3, up 2. Okay, our next location is -4, 1. -4, 1. -4, 1. So I start from 0, the origin. -4 goes sideways first. Always go sideways first. -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and up 1. Right there. -4, -4, 1. And that is letter B. And our last location is -2, -4. -2, -4. Okay, now let's go up to the vocabulary here. and define some of these. A coordinate plane is formed by two intersecting number lines. Two intersecting number lines. Because basically we have a y number line and an x number line that intersect. Two number lines make a coordinate plane. All right, the x-axis, what is that? That's the horizontal number line. It's the number line that goes sideways. The horizontal number line. And the y-axis is the vertical number line. That's the one that goes up and down. Vertical means up and down. The vertical number line. What are quadrants? They're four areas divided by the x and y axes. Four areas divided by the x and y axes. Four areas divided by the x and y axes. A-X-E-S. That's plural. A-X-I-S is for one. A-X-E-S is for both of them. Right, so here's the y-axis, the vertical axis. Here's the x-axis, the horizontal axis. And the quadrants are areas separated by those. What about the origin? The origin is where the x and y axes, it's where the x and y axes intersect. It's where the x and y axes intersect. An x-coordinate. What is an x-coordinate? It's the position. It's the position right or left. Not right or wrong, but right or left. The position right or left of the y-axis. It's the position right or left of the y-axis. Right or left of the y-axis. Now the y-coordinate, we can use a lot of ditto marks for this. The y-coordinate is the position above or below, above or below I don't need to say of, but the x-axis. It's above or below the x-axis. Let me just zoom out a little bit so you can see that better. So it's the position above or below the x-axis. Okay, we'll three-hole punch this and put this in your notes. Whoops, I forgot one other thing that you'll want to have in your notes right here. Let's just put it in real quick. Just takes 1 minute. And that is the location over here, the x part and the y part. This, the x, is positive, and the y is positive, right? Positive, positive. Over here in this quadrant, number 2, you have the x and you have the y. The x part is negative, but the y part is positive. It's going up. So that would be positive. On the third quadrant over here, let's see, it is negative. The x part is negative, and the y part is going down. That's also negative. So on the x and the y is negative, negative. Like -5, -4. On this quadrant, quadrant 4, notice the x is positive. You have the x and you have the y. The x is positive, but the y part is going down, is negative. So to find a like this location here was +2, positive, -4, negative. All right, this one was 2, -4. All right, so you're going to need this to do some problems with. Okay, that is it. Okay, so Matthew, show me how you do that. Learn what you learned in school, the THE.
THE. THE. The.
And that's how you learn how to say the, spell the?
Yep.
Okay.